Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve. So in this video, I got a question from a viewer. One of you guys wants to know what to do when progressive overload has run its course and you just simply can't add weight. I'm going to talk about that in this video. Before I do so, if you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. Come on over, submit your questions. The best questions I turn into videos just like this. All right. Question from a viewer. Dear Big Hairy Ugly Dude, what happens when progressive overload runs its course and you really can't continue to add weight? Well, let's analyze the question itself. I am assuming that this type of person is using linear periodization because in reality, the pursuit of progression really doesn't end. What happens is a lot of guys fall into the trap where they believe, not necessarily a trap, but I call it a trap because they believe there's only one way of progression. A lot of guys will get involved with linear progression, which is simply they start with a weight and then they try to add weight to that every week. This is linear progression. They might try to add 5 pounds to the bench, 10 pounds of the squat every week or every 2 weeks. Programs like Strong Lift encourage this type of thing. You can even do a program like 5-3-1 where you're adding weight every 3 weeks or whatever it is. But you get the point. Starting strength, whatever. These types of programs are linear periodization and they focus on the addition of weight at every workout. I want to tell you that this is not the way I want you guys to train. Does it work? Yes. Is it the most effective for power building or building strength and muscle? In my opinion, no. Now let's establish again that progressive overload never really ends. The pursuit of progressive overload never really ends. What I recommend for you guys during your first couple years is that instead of just trying to add weight every workout, what you do is for the majority of your sets, you try to maximize that set. We're going to do auto-regulated progression rather than linear progression. Now let me explain what that means. When I started as a noob in the gym, I had 95 pounds on the bench. So let's say you're doing 3 sets. You go into the gym like me, the noob, Captain Noob, and you do 3 sets for as many reps as possible. You only stop those sets when your form starts to break down or when you think you might fail on the next rep. So you're trying to get the most out of every set. This is auto-regulated progression because you're going to progress naturally as the strength comes to your body, or as the strength is building. As you're building muscle, you're building strength. You're going to progress in a natural way. So yeah, I just got a little tongue-tied there, but you get the point. You're going to progress naturally as it comes to you. This isn't any slower than linear progression, and in fact, it is sustainable where linear progression is not sustainable. If you go into the gym and try to add 5 to 10 pounds every week, you're going to peak out really soon, and guys get really frustrated on linear progression because of this. Now, with auto-regulated progression, the goal is just to beat your last set. So if you did 185 pounds on the bench for 7 reps, your goal is just to add 1 more rep. Now that doesn't sound like much, but over time as an intermediate lifter, you're going to continue to build strength and muscle at an optimal rate. Now not only that, when you are taking a set for as many reps as possible, you are recruiting a maximum amount of muscle fibers. The deeper into a set you get, the more muscle fibers you're recruiting, and that is for weight that is less than 85% of your 1 rep max. For weight that is above 85% of your 1 rep max, generally you recruit all the muscle fibers out of the gate. So this helps you build muscle at a more optimal rate, which also helps you with future strength gains. That is why I'm a fan of maximizing sets rather than doing linear progression. Now let's talk about when progression slows down. After 1.5 to 2 years of lifting, if you do my type of training, auto-regulated progression, maximizing sets, and you can find out more about this by checking out the link to my book, Massive Iron, below. If you spend 2 years doing this type of training, you'll find out that it's hard to add reps. Is progression dead at this point? No, you just have to reassess what your expectations are. If you are benching 275 to 315, if you are squatting 405 and deadlifting 465, you can't expect to sustain beginner type of progress. At that point, if you can add 10, 15, 20 pounds to a lift in a year, you're doing well. Because if you take that over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, you could add potentially 75 to 100 pounds to a lift. And that's pushing your bench press to 350 to 400, which is pretty darn impressive for a natural. So at the point where you become an intermediate lifter, you might have to make adjustments. You might have to move to a different type of progression because you're lifting heavy weight, and pushing a set for as many reps as possible can be pretty, it can wear down your body a little bit at times. So you have to be willing to listen to your body. And if you're getting beat up, you might have to start to cycle between maybe 1 week pushing every set for a maximum amount of reps, and the next week maybe doing a 4x10 scheme. Now, one of the things I like to advocate for intermediate lifters that have added a lot of strength already is to switch to more volume and focus on a different type of progression. What I do is 3, 4, or 5 sets of 10 with a weight. I'm getting a lot of volume in. It's not super intense, meaning super heavy, but let's say you're doing 185 pounds on bench for 4 sets of 10. When you're not pushing every set for as many reps as possible, but you're still encouraging the muscle and strength building process by getting a lot of volume in. So if you do 4 sets of 10 or 5 sets of 10 with 185 pounds on the bench press, when that feels manageable, meaning on your last set of 10, you didn't feel like you were going to be close to failure, when that feels manageable, then add 5 pounds to the bar. How often can you add 5 pounds to the bar using this method as an intermediate? Maybe once every 10 weeks, maybe once every 15 weeks. Does this mean you're plateauing? Does this mean progression has come to an end? No. If you think it does, you have to reassess your standards, get your ass back into reality, and understand as an intermediate lifter, progression is going to be very slow. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.